This video is sponsored by Day 2 Bootcamp, but more on that later. This was not normal for me, and you feel like you're not adequate, and you feel like you are being blamed. It was the first time in my life that I actually broke down from all of the pressure. All right, we are back. Today, I will not be going into the dental center. I'll actually be going into the medical center because today is my last day of anesthesia rotation. Anesthesia days have to be one of your favorite days and experiences that you go through in dental school. So anesthesia is my very first rotation here at Tufts. We go through a wide range of different rotations. Currently, I'm going to be at Tufts Medical Center. We rotate through here, as well as Franciscans, which is a children's hospital in Boston. They really had me starting out with a bang of a rotation. I have absolutely been loving it, been seeing things that I never thought that I would see in my life. And although I am just rotating, I will never be doing my own anesthesia in terms of deep sedation or putting someone completely out. I still get to be involved with the process, intubating, push propofol, and other things. Today, I placed the LMA instead of a full intubation through the vocal cords. Because the first procedure was a shorter procedure, we were not using any paralytic drugs like rocuronium, and because of that, the risk of aspiration was really low. Before this rotation, I never really thought about everything that happens behind the scenes in an operating room. Anesthesia is so much more than just putting patients to sleep. In residency, we learned that the goal of sedation isn't just induction, it's ensuring a safe and controlled experience from start to finish. That means protecting the developing psyche, managing movement and behavior, and keeping the patient comfortable for longer procedures. It's a constant balance of monitoring, adjusting medications, and making sure that they wake up safely. Walking into the OR now, I see it all from a whole new perspective. I am currently in the peds resident room. I just finished my last anesthesia patient rotation and I'm done with it. It was an absolute dream getting to see this wide variety of cases, but I'll tell you more about that right after this. So after I came in, because even though I'm on anesthesia rotation, at the same time, we have seminar going on. We have lectures for classes going on. We have our own patients that I have scheduled. I have a full week of patients next week. So I'm going through all of my next week's patients to see if there's anything I need to do. And I actually do. My patient on Tuesday needs a medical consult. She has a succinylcholine enzyme deficiency. I need to make sure that she's cleared by her medical doctor and that she doesn't need to receive any antibiotic prophylaxis before treatment. Luckily, I'm checking her files right now, and I already did this last month. So thank you, Jack, from a month ago for doing this. Now I don't have to be scrambling in order to get this before the appointment on Tuesday. I'll tell you about clinic more when I have a vlog that's, I'll be in clinic more. But right now, as I'm recording this, we're 2 months into the program. The procedure was an ACL tear and a meniscus repair. Being in dentistry, I mean, even if you're in a specialization in medicine, you're just so in your own world. Although I handled the intubation and the masking and, mixing some drugs and pushing some drugs like ondansetron at the end to help with nausea and vomiting, I had no idea what was going on in that ACL. I was like, what are they holding up right now? What is that flap? And then, I would ask, and then you learn that, it's the quad tendon. And then all of a sudden they look like they're cleaning out the quad tendon, and then they snip it and they take it out. And it's just they're working on it external of the body. I was gonna say oral cavity, outside of the knee cavity, and they're suturing it in a way for it to be able to stay put at the location of the ACL. When I went in the second time today after class, it was for a knee replacement, and I don't know if you've seen all the memes about orthopedic surgeons. Every single orthopedic surgeon there was pretty buff, pretty fit, and for the knee replacement, they put the titanium or metal piece, like, where it's supposed to be, line it up, and just pop, pop, And wabam, you have a new knee. For us, we get to play stainless steel crowns on patients, and we kind of just press it in. We want to hear a little snap. It really humbles you seeing all of these surgeries in medicine. I'm sure there's some cool things about dentistry that they feel the same way. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I'm feeling a lot more familiar with the most frequent drugs that they use. I want to take a moment to talk about a resource that was a lifesaver during my journey to dental school, bootcamp.com. I personally use DAT Bootcamp, Anatomy Bootcamp, and IMBD Bootcamp to help me crush the DAT, navigate dental school, and become a licensed dentist. One of the best features about Bootcamp is that it includes iOS and Android mobile apps, so you can study on the go with the bootcamp.com app. Whether you're commuting, waiting for an appointment, or just taking a quick break, you can access thousands of questions, practice tests, and videos right from your phone. It's a total game changer for staying productive and consistent with your prep. Also, don't forget to use my discount code JackOnSmiles to save some money, because trust me, dental school is not cheap. I'm feeling a lot more familiar with the most frequent drugs that they use. It's kind of like this dance where, they have to use drugs to paralyze the muscles. They have to use drugs to put them in a deep sedation. Once they fall into its deep sedation, the patient stops breathing. So then you have to ventilate, you have to intubate, and then some drugs like propofol that puts you in a very sedative state, it also lowers your blood pressure a lot. So to counteract that, you have to use phenylephrine, and it's really cool what they do. Some of the most gnarly cases that I've seen the last 2 weeks involves open heart surgery. Like, I'm talking about it's an incision here to here, open it up with clamps, cut, break all the ribs, and you have like this big space where you do open heart surgery, and they pour this liquid that floods the heart with potassium ions, and that short circuits the heart, and then the heart, you just see the heart that like bumps like this, like it's aggressive, and then it just stops. Those images are now ingrained into my memory, and I will never forget what that looked like and felt like to be attending in that surgery. I also saw a neurosurgery where they went into the skull, cutting up like this big of a piece in the skull of the bone, and like taking that out to get to the brain, because the tumor's in the brain. And then I never thought about it, we never learned about it, but the brain moves, it pulsates a little bit. Like, when your heart beats, the brain pulsates because the blood pressure goes up when the systolic pressure, right? During all of this craziness of being on a rotation, residency is a lot. It's a lot more than dental school. It's a lot more involved. It's a lot more specialized and focused. There's been days like this where I feel really up and really high, and luckily these days happen more often than the low days. I remember at the very beginning, first week of patients, the attendings are always going to be there to tell you that you can do better, you can be faster, you can do that a lot better, you need to know this, you need to know this. It was the first time in my life that I actually broke down from all of the pressure. It has never happened before in my entire life, and that was part of me. At that point in time, it was the worst feeling ever. I felt like I was trying my best, but not being able to be competent or have the appointment, or that, that was the entire day where it didn't go smoothly, and you feel like you are being blamed, and you feel like you're not adequate. I learned a lot from that experience. It got to the point where it was so overwhelming that I just started having tears coming down my face. It was a really surreal moment, and I couldn't even stop crying. And I was with the patient, I was with the attending, and I just couldn't hold it together. I learned a lot during that time. If you are in residency or you're about to go into residency, this is really normal. This was not normal for me, but apparently it's really normal. The very next day, another one of my residents was crying to me about how she felt the exact same. You can only do your best. You only know what you know. From that day on, my mindset did change. I also just finished a book that reinforced this, and the book was called Ego's the Enemy. One of the chapters, it tells you to focus on your effort. Be proud of your effort. If you're putting in a good effort, and we're here in residency to learn. There's no way we're gonna know everything. Once I got into residency, I really learned how vast dentistry really was. In dental school, you're barely competent when you graduate and feel like the best mindset to have is just, I'm here to try my best. I'm here to learn everything I can. If I don't know something, that is okay. Try to know it next time if the same thing happens. And always keep your ego in check, because if you can subdue your ego, that's when you can focus more of your energy into learning what you need. This was a total tangent. I did not expect to talk about this, but I do think it's good information to put out there. I wanted to focus on anesthesia in this video, but I guess that didn't happen. I guess, you know, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with you guys. I know that this talk will help some of you guys out there, and that makes me really happy. So, all right, peace out.